Apex Legends Season 7 has got to be one of the most hyped up seasons this Battle Royale has ever seen. We have a brand new map, a brand new legend, brand new places to explore, and we're all ready. We've all seen the gameplay now, the embargo was lifted, we all want to play. But before we get into Season 7, I thought we would take a look back at Season 6 and see how just this season played out. Apex Legends Season 6 boosted, brought us the new legend in Rampart, a new energy SMG being the Volt, new places to land like Countdown and Staging, and even a new way to loot with the crafting materials and the replicators. But before we even get into that, we need to go all the way back to Season 4 for the first appearance of Rampart. Our first hint of Rampart actually came in Season 4 like I mentioned. It was the R decal on these flatline skins that were in the Battle Pass, level 100 and 110 respectively. They also showed up in the level 100 and 110 Battle Pass skins of Season 5 on the Wingman, one even being named Attention to Detail. Respawn is always putting these hints in, and this one went right over our heads. Lastly, before we get into actual Season 6 content, we have to remember the teasers that we had in Season 5. The Season 5 teasers were the Hammond Robotics future worksite signs. These signs are put in place to insinuate a new POI is being constructed for the new season. Other teasers included graffiti around World's Edge, but let's talk about the new POIs we got in Season 6. Our first new POI was actually Launch Site, which is in the south side of the map near Dome and outside Sorting Factory. It has a quick rotation into Sorting Factory, which is still one of the most popular landing spots of the season. The loot here, as much as they want to brag about it in the actual post of Season 6, it really isn't that great, and I never see many teams land here. The next two spots were Countdown and Staging. Countdown took place of Drill Site that was near Skyhook, and Staging kind of took place of the little village that was outside of Harvester that would rotate into Train Yard. These places had these battle walls that they kind of hyped up in the Battle Pass trailer, but to be honest, they were really just played up and they weren't really that big of a gameplay deal. Teams more or less rotated here. I didn't see a lot of teams land at Staging, more or less Countdown, but I still think they were good rotational pieces to the map and good places and new places to land and explore, and kind of made the map feel more whole. Let's take a peek at the new legend, Rampart. Alright, Ramya Parekh is Rampart's real name. What the fu- Hold up! Like, seriously, who at Respawn said this was a good idea? That's freaking disgusting, dude! I actually just, can't believe they pulled the trigger on that idea. I'm just not even gonna talk about her. You know the deal. She has the, Sheila Go Burr, you know. So let's move on to weapon and legend meta changes. The biggest legend changes that led up to Season 6 were the fact that the Recon legends, Bloodhound and Crypto, actually got a new buff, which allowed them to use the survey beacons just like Pathfinder. As we all know, that was Pathfinder's old passive. The devs mentioned that a new passive is in the works. But as for now, basically whenever Pathfinder uses a zipline, he now gets his ultimate cooldown on the zipline gun, which I guess is okay for the time being. That change, and along with another small change / buff to Bloodhound's ultimate, made his pick rate go up even more. You see Bloodhound in every single lobby you play in. He's very popular now. The biggest weapon change at the beginning of Season 6 was the fact that the R99 was put into the care package and swapped with the Devotion. The Devotion was put back into floor loot without a damage nerf, which was really overpowered right when the season dropped. Fortunately, that did get nerfed, and they continue to nerf the gun to make it more balanced, but that thing at the beginning of Season 6 was unstoppable. This is also one of my favorite clips from this season with the Devotion. The last thing that Season 6 added was the replicators, or the crafting system. The crafting system allowed you to grab crafting materials around the map in certain landing locations and take them to a replicator where you could replicate or create different items. There was a different weapon that cycled through each day with different attachments, as well as a weekly item which was usually a purple bag or a respawn beacon, as well as different heals. Lastly, you can grab ammo from the replicator, as well as upgrading your Evo Armor. This was probably the best replicator clip I saw this season.
Gold item yet? Guess this is my lucky day. I banish you. Mine.
On September 3rd, we had our first patch of Season 6. That wasn't the Devotion nerf, which was 2 days into the season. That's how broken the Devo was, by the way. But this patch brought an Evo Armor revert at the beginning of Season 6, and I completely forgot this even happened. There was an armor change to increase the time to kill in Apex Legends. They decreased the health of each armor by 25%, so your white shield had 125 health, and your red shield only had 200. This was a huge change, and many players were upset with it, and they finally changed it back into this patch, and it just made Apex feel so much better the way that it should be played. But I'm glad Respawn tried it and then reverted it, and they showed they can listen to the community, which is really important. Our last patch for Season 6 was on October 6th, the Aftermarket Collection event. The Aftermarket Collection event, as you know, included a Cossack Heirloom, a bunch of new cosmetics for us to unlock. There was a new game mode called Flashpoint, and there was even the crossplay beta. 2 legends got buffed in this patch. There wasn't really anything else too major besides these 2. Number 1 was Loba. Her Black Market Boutique in this patch, the radius of that boutique was basically increased, so the radius of which the loot gets pulled in, or that she can choose from, is larger, and her ult also starts at 50%. The second buff was Pathfinder. Some people called it a buff, some people called it a nerf, but it was a good start to what eventually would be a better patch for him in the next season that we're coming up on. This patch was the fact that depending on how far you grappled was how big your cooldown was. So if you had a super far grapple across the map, you were going to get that 35-second cooldown again, but if you were just trying to get high ground or somebody or a short grapple, it's going to be about 15 to 20 seconds, which was a pretty good change in my opinion. Also, can we just really quick talk about this Revenant skin? My god, it was beautiful. And yeah, I know, Wraith's sprinting animation got changed, just don't remind me. And last but not least, on October 22nd, we had the return of the Fight or Fright event. We're going to the Shadow Realm, whatever you want to call it, with the Shadow Revenant. We're back at Kings Canyon at dark or at night. And this is basically just the Shadow Royale event with a bit of a twist, as well as some new overpriced cosmetics. This was very disappointing that the way that they decided to do these bundles in this. They were just ungodly expensive, and I didn't really buy almost anything from this besides the Loba skin. I really wanted the Bloodhound skin, but I'm not going to pay $60 for it. And that, my friends, is Apex Legends Season 6 Boosted. It's a rewind for you. That's what we had this season. That's what we're dealing with. We had a blast this season. Not the most fun of all the seasons I played of Apex, but, you know, I still had a great time. The first month was tough with the armor, but the new replicator changes, the Volt, even Rampart to an extent, I think were all fun changes to the game, and we have a new map, new season coming out in the next couple of hours. So get ready for that. If you like Apex Legends content, consider subscribing to the channel and hitting that bell for post notifications, and make sure to follow me on Twitter. It's linked in the description as always. And before I head out of here, I just wanted to, you know, show a clip that Respawn, yet again, just went right over our heads. But I'll see you guys next time.
Something big is on the horizon.